Um, what's up, YouTube? What's up, Twitch? How y'all doing? And for this live stream right here, I will be talking about, in my opinion, with video game franchise. I think they probably can do good, do bad, in between and stuff like that. And which video games franchise that is popular that could be done into live action. I think, in my opinion, could be done good. Oh well, in some people think. Be, because they about me, in my opinion, um, video games got a whole lot of franchises which could like compete with Marvel, DC, and Marvel and DC and anime, which I think they could. About, in my opinion, if they gonna do like if they're gonna try to do it their way and not try to go by the source material or take reference for the game at least and just try to make it good. I think, in my opinion. Which I think they could do, but I'm kind of worried about if they can't. And 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 plus, in my opinion, it depends on the director and everything like that. Which I think, in my opinion, which can make a difference. Directors, writers, and everything else. I think, in my opinion, which can make a difference. I think in time for storytelling. Because like the one thing I know about a good movie and a good show is the writing, directing, stuff like that is not good. Man, sure, you just in trouble. Was kind of like the thing for me, which I think could be a good thing or a bad thing, but um kind of thing that I'm looking for that type of video games. What they're looking for. And which kind of like, in my opinion, it could be a good thing or a bad thing, but And kind of like the one thing I'm looking for, talking video game franchises, something like, so they kind of got to look for the one that's gonna be like for the general public. I think, in my opinion, what could be good for the general public or not. And kind of like for me, in my opinion, kind of general for public, I think the ones the Halo show was cool, but it could have been better. I think, in my opinion. And kind of like for the other ones, I think it was a video game franchise thing. It's the video games that made the most money. Because the thing about shoot, I know they make um lots of money though. Like like how video game franchise and stuff like that. And that what people fail to realize and stuff like that. So they got video game franchises and stuff like that. Let me see now. They had they had the one with all the top video games and stuff like that that had the most money. So I knew it was, yeah, right here. Because they had all the video games I know that could be good, bad, everything in between. And kind of like for me, in my opinion, about that is, um, and kind of like thing for me, like kind of video game franchises, I think Call of Duty, Pokemon could make another movie. I think Mario got a movie. Um, Final Fantasy could, but it's kind of tricky. Space Invaders, I'm not sure about that. And kind of like the thing for me, it's like shoot. I think for me, time for video game stuff, I think Crossfire could be a good army franchise what they can do. But the thing about it just depends on who's doing it, the writing, and kind of like kind of the other one I know is kind of like the High Crossing. That $30 million, 30 billion. That's Call of Duty, Pokemon 27 point, yeah, Mario, okay, Final Fantasy, Dungeon Fighters Online. I think that I I think that could be a franchise, but the thing is, it just depends on which characters they want to bring in and the actors they pick. But or the actors could be new to just start franchise as new. I think, in my opinion. But then everybody different. And kind of my opinion about it. If I was in Hollywood, I'd make one by Call of Duty. Mario already got one. I'll make one with Call of Duty, Final Fantasy, and one about Space Invaders. Those three. Those be the three top ones. I might try to make a franchise off. If I would try to make a franchise off, if I was in Hollywood, and stuff like that. That's what I would do. But everybody different and stuff like that. But everybody not me. That what I would do, like type of video game franchises. I would do Call of Duty. I would do Call of Duty or just Advanced Warfare. What was the other one? I know Call of Duty is one of them. Call, Call of Duty 3 is like the best Call of Duty, I think, that people like. And put like other ones too, but it's just I know that third one is like the best one. If you like, I know that that's the best one. If you like the third, and kind of like the thing for me, which I know about Xbox have bought a whole lot of game franchises too, and for the thing about it, no Xbox bought it. Oh man, that a lot of controversy on PlayStation part, which I don't get why PlayStation is like complaining at all. I just don't get it. Because the thing about me, in my opinion, is about PlayStation complaining about just about exclusivity. Because think about it, they didn't share their God of War, they didn't share Spider Man, they didn't share none of their games they got with Xbox, and now all this, which I don't get at all, which is dumb. Which I think, in my opinion, is dumb anyway. PlayStation, in my opinion, should not be complaining about it. I think, in my opinion, stuff like that. And in my opinion, stuff like that. And kind of like the other thing, which I'm worried about, that could be happening, could not be happening, which I think, in my opinion, and stuff like that, which I think, in my opinion, could be good, bad, and everything between. It's kind of like up in my opinion, that PlayStation should not be complaining about exclusivity, time for gaming, and anything like that. Because like the games they got sound like PlayStation, Xbox, everything else like that, and stuff like that, everything else like that, which I think is kind of dumb, but everybody dumb though. Everybody act dumb sometimes. And kind of like one thing I'm worried about that's dealing with the video game thing. It's like is like I just hope if one franchise just be like successful or something like that, is that all the rest of them just won't copy it and just will try their own thing and stuff like that. And that'd be a good thing in my opinion. And that kind of be a good thing in my opinion. For me to pick up, which I think could be pick up. I think if they actually pick up real good franchises, it sounds like Call of Duty, but thing about it just depends on which one they're doing, which one they're doing first. I think stuff like that. Because the thing about for me, if they're doing it first, I think in my opinion, could be a good thing or a bad thing. But the thing about it, I'm just worried about who writing it, directing it, and plus the storytelling. That's just me. Be, be, because the thing about me is storytelling and stuff like that. Storytelling video games is very important. Because they might video game movies, if you can't tell a good story or have good action at least inside of it, or at least a mixture of both, to a decent level, so that's gonna be a bad thing for you and everybody else. I think, in my opinion. But that just me and stuff like that, which I think could be, which could be a good thing or a bad thing and stuff like that. But it just depends. And kind of like the bad thing for me, with the kind of bad thing for me, which I am looking for, and kind of for like video games, movies, shows, is like shoot, we got to have directors who willing to read the source material and put the source material on screen, at least some of it to make the fans happy. I think, in my opinion. And that's kind of like the good thing for me, which I think they could do, but I'm not sure they're actually going to do it. And that's kind of like the bad thing, which I think could be bad, good, and stuff like that, which could be a good or a bad thing. But for me, it just depends on the source material that people want. Which I think, in my opinion, some video games were mangas, comics, short stories, I think, stuff like that, before they become video games. And some video games is just original story, the game itself. And that's kind of like me, in my opinion, what I think of it. But everybody different though. Everybody is different what they want. Because like the thing for me, in my opinion, which I think they want, it could be good. It's like shoot, if anybody want to come in, that I got the link on the chat. It's stuff like that. In my opinion, it's stuff in my opinion. Shoot, I think the Halo show was a good test run, but the thing is, the Halo show could have been a lot better. I think, in my opinion, that they would have take some of the game stuff. I think stuff like that, and at least try to make it a little bit better. I think, and some kind of fans wouldn't have been as hard on it. I think, in my opinion, but everybody different though. Everybody different in what they want. Everybody different what version of Halo they want. Call of Duty, on the Spider-Man 2 coming out, there could be Venom in that. And kind of like shoot the hype everything that seems like is good. But the thing is, with things, in my opinion, it's kind of like PlayStation is kind of hypocritical on that part. I think, in my opinion, it sounds like they want exclusivity time for certain games, and they don't got self exclusivity, and they don't share games on their end. Some of their games on their end. So like Call of Duty, as I said, should they don't got Call of Duty. They want Call of Duty, NBA 2K, but if I was down there, I get Call of Duty.
We're gonna transition real quick.
Because like Call of Duty 2K and everything else like that, I say, oh man, if they would have that on Xbox by itself, ooh, man. And that's kind of like thing that I don't like sometimes, everything like that, in my opinion. And kind of like the thing, in my opinion, which I think could be good, bad, and everything else in between, is it sounds like if anybody just got questions to ask, they type in, I can type in the chat, you got a question to ask me, anything like that, just about video game franchise y'all want. That because like the video game franchise, I think was in the top 10 in the last 5 years. I think, in my opinion, I think could be good, bad, and everything else in between. Is it sounds like if anybody just got questions to ask, they type in, you got a question to ask me, anything like that, just about video game franchise y'all want. That because like the video game franchise, I think was in the top 10 I think something like that. Shoot. I think they had Call of Duty. It was everything else like that. Cause, I know they had Call of Duty. I know they had shoot. What's the other one they had? I know they had Call of Duty. They had Spyro, Spyro, bought Candy. Xbox bought a whole lot of gaming companies and games with it. And Crash Bandicoot had came into Xbox, which I was glad. In my opinion, and kind of the bad thing about it sound like how did PlayStation lose the rights to Crash Bandicoot? But for me, in my opinion, the games, movies, everything else like that, is serious. Man, shoot, I'm just hoping, in my opinion, this all I'm hoping. I'm just hoping, in my opinion, if they could bring like the right people, the right directors, and everything else like that, which I think they could bring it. I think, in my opinion, to make a good movie. I think they could, and kind of like the other stuff, I think they could do, and kind of like the bad thing, like in my opinion, which I think could be happening, could not be. It would could be good, bad, and everything else like that. Which I think, in my opinion, stuff like that. Uh, which I think, in my opinion, could be good or a bad thing. But if anybody just got questions asking about the video game franchise and stuff like that, which I think could happen, it sounds like Dungeon and Dragons movie wasn't that bad, but the outside interference had just I did that movie in. But about the D&D stuff, people didn't want it. People boycott some of the stuff. In my opinion. good, bad, and everything in between. Which I think, in my opinion, because like the other franchise, I think would happen for which I would want to see. Let me see. Let me see. Because I had a picture of it. I had a picture of these things. It was. Let me see. I know like Star Wars could be one, but Star Wars not. Star Wars video games is good. Some of the games is good. It's good. It has some bad, some average, some in between and stuff like that. And it sounds like another video game franchise, which I think I will put it in this one right here, Gears of War. Because the thing about for me, which I know, it sounds like this Gears of War franchise, if they ever cast that for Netflix or HBO or just put it in movies, like in a 3 or 4 or 5 part movie, something like that, that will be a good thing. That would be a good thing, in my opinion. Just for people to look at, because think about it, because the franchise no time, it's not like political. It's deal with aliens. It's simple. It's simple, action packed, and you don't got to worry about putting in political messages inside that franchise. I think, in my opinion, but in my opinion, in my opinion, so I'm just hope that nobody just don't put like a franchise type some type of director. I think something like that who want to put something political in it, which will be a bad thing, which I think, my opinion, will be. And also do like XCOM game, I think something like that. Because you look at XCOM as a franchise, the XCOM game, just for anybody who know about the XCOM, if they really put that inside the game and stuff like that, that'd be a good thing too. No, for my opinion, that'd be a real good thing, which I think, in my opinion, will be for me. For me, what I think would be good, and kind of like the other thing for me, which I think could be good, bad, everything in between. And trying like the other thing for me, which I think should be good, not be good, and stuff like that. Which I think, in my opinion, stuff like that. Which I think for me it could be good, bad, and everything in between. Which I think, in my opinion, should be a good thing. It sounds like the Gears of War. If they do like the Locust War, should they probably do Locust War about 4 or 5 parts? I think, because they might if they do like a movie, the first part of the movie could be like Locust. The first 2 movies could be the one introducing the Locust and stuff like that. The first one, it's for them fighting it. The second one could be them try to end it and pushing them back. And put the third movie could be about fighting. They're just fighting another species besides the Locust. I think that is more dangerous than Locust, or it could be like a new involved form of the Locust, like in the second or third movie. But if they're doing it by series, they can do about 4, 5 seasons based on one game. In my opinion, you do about 4, 5 seasons based on 2 games. I think 4 or 5 seasons. The first game could be about 2 seasons. I think 2 seasons, 2 or 3 seasons. I think you could make it if you want to tell a long drawn out storytelling, which I think will be a good thing. Time for this franchise and stuff like that, because this franchise got 5 games, 5 main games, one side tactical game or something like that. Let me see. One side tactical game, 5 main ones, and plus the DLC game with it. you can make about, if they might be making more, they make about 8, 9 seasons of it. If they tell it right, they'll tell about 3 or 4 seasons. Let me see. Yeah, yeah, it could be 3 or 4 seasons based on one game. You made 3 seasons just like the first game, and for the second game, you made about 2, 3 seasons on that at 6. The third game could be about 2 seasons. The fourth game, that people don't like, could be 4. And kind of like the other thing I think, in my opinion, could be good. Which I think could be a good thing or bad thing, stuff like that. And which I think could be good, bad, and everything in between. And kind of like the other thing I like, and kind of like the other thing I like dealing with on franchises and stuff like that is like for me, in my opinion, stuff like that, which I think could be good, bad, and everything in between. Shoot, that is me. And which kind of thing I think for me, in my opinion, could be a good, bad, and in between stuff like that. It's like shoot. I'm just thinking my opinion. Stuff like that. It could be a good thing, a bad thing, stuff like that. But which I think for me, in my opinion, could be good. But the thing about it for me, which I'm worried about, is I am worried about my opinion is some of the stuff that's gonna be is like the thing I'm worried about. I worry about the storytelling. I worry about who they gonna worry about, in my opinion, stuff like that. Time for movies, shows, everything else like that. I say, oh shoot. Because damn me, I worry about movies, I worry about shows, I worry about who gonna be doing all this. Oh man. Because the thing about for me, which I'm worrying about, my opinion, if they gonna be, which I'm worrying about is I am worrying about storytelling. I'm worrying about if the storytelling gonna be good. Yeah, I want the storytelling, everything supposed to be good. But the thing about for me is like you not even show the storytelling gonna be good at all. That's the problem. Because we know that it's always something that might not be perfect and stuff like that. Some be good, some not. And kind of like the other thing I'm worrying about is like because the other thing I'm worrying about is I'm worrying about the storytelling of these shows because the storytelling of these shows ain't good or these series ain't good, and that what Hollywood, I think, in my opinion, might not even try. I think, in my opinion, they won't even try, and that'd be a bad thing for all the rest of the franchises. I think, in my opinion. And kind of like the other thing for me, in my opinion, which I think could be good, bad, everything else like that. And I'm kind of worried about, in my opinion, if these storytelling stuff is gonna be good for everybody else. Because that's just me. Because the storytelling ain't good, oh man. If storytelling ain't good and stuff like that, oh, man, it's gonna be a bad thing for everybody else. I think, in my opinion, if the storytelling ain't good, if one movie end up being worse than the other, oh man, Because that's what the storytelling not as good as others. Oh man, shoot, they make it bad for everybody else who wants to do it. Which I think, in my opinion, could be a good, bad thing, everything else like that. Which I think could be good or bad. But that's just me. That's just me, in my opinion. Which I think could be good, bad, everything else like that. I think, in my opinion, could be a good thing, bad thing, but it just depends. It just depends so much. It just depends so much on the person. I think, in my opinion, stuff like that, and that just me, in my opinion, what I think. Which I think for me could be good or bad thing and stuff like that. But time for me is shoot. I learned about and kind of thing I learned about is shoot. I learned about the storytelling. That's what I learned about. I learned about the storytelling. I learned about the storytelling gonna be good, bad, and everything else. Because that's what we all know is the storytelling bad. That's gonna be a whole lot of bad stuff be taken just out of context and stuff like that. I say, oh man, because like the last time I checked and deal with storytelling, if your storytelling ain't good, oh man, that's gonna be a bad look for everybody else if the storytelling not on point. Like dealing with the shows, movies, and kind of thing for me, they like the Halo show. Shoot, kind of me show. I think the Halo show could have been better, but the Halo show was all right. But it could have been better, I think, at time for storytelling. But that just me. That just me, in my opinion, is what I think. But if y'all think differently, then y'all can tell me down below. If y'all think differently, if y'all think the show could have been good, bad, everything else like that. Because like thing for me, shoot, I do think it could have been better, in my opinion. But think about it. Some people think that I was capping and stuff like that. But then for me, is shoot, I always say that the Halo show was cool, but the Halo show could have been a lot better, in my opinion. It could have been a lot better. They might not like me saying it or saying it, but that's what the Halo show could have been a lot better and good, I think, in my opinion. But that's just me. But that's just me, in my opinion, is what I think. But if y'all think differently, then and y'all need to, which I think, in my opinion, could be good, bad, and everything else, like which I think, in my opinion, could be, which I think, in my opinion, could be good, bad, and everything else right now. Which I think, in my opinion, could be good, bad, everything else like that. When everybody talking about, because think about it, some people think that's gonna be good, some people think it's gonna be bad. And kind of like thing for me, if y'all think it's gonna be bad, then they need to, which I think, in my opinion, could be good. But if anybody chat got a question to ask me, then y'all could. And kind of like the other video game stuff, I think we got. because they got 10 highest franchises of all times. Uh-oh. They just try to bring up the 10 highest video game franchises. I could be wrong, I could be right, but I know Call of Duty got me on it. Call of Duty got me Spider-Man on there. Call of Duty, Spider-Man, stuff like that. And from number 10. Yeah, I was surprised, but I'm kind of surprised Dragon Quest because of history and stuff like that. Okay, wait a minute. I mean, Dragon Quest, I'm kind of surprised that's on there because, shoot, I thought it would have been like a normal game or the Star Wars franchise stuff would have been on it. But it seemed like the Disney formula of Star Wars stuff ain't working on people for buying stuff. And for Star Wars not being on, man, that's a bad look. That's a bad look on everybody who work at Star Wars and stuff that for all them years. Because like the older Star Wars, I understand the reason why they wasn't making money. Because they going with this they were doing storytelling and kind of like the online game was actually good too, but it seemed like in my like other people had plans too during that time. And that's kind of like a good thing to see too. Like time for games, movies, and stuff like that. I said, okay, that should be a good thing. If they like it, they like it. They don't, they don't. And that just me, in my opinion, that's what I like. That's what I like to hear television. So Street Fighter. I'm not surprised Street Fighter on there, but oh yeah. I kind of understand the reason why Street Fighter's kind of low because I'm sure they wasn't really making a lot